to interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Y'all know who it is, what it is. It's your favorite concerned correspondent, the Gov in the building. We are here with the latest episode of the Concerned Citizen, and we got none other than the coach in here. Coach, what's up?
How you doing this evening?
Man, I'm feeling good. It's good to have you here sitting with us. I'm glad to be able to call you my neighbor, which is something really important. And so we're going to open the show the way that we normally open the show. And with this simple question, Coach, if a person couldn't see you, how would you describe yourself and your vibe to them?
Outgoing, caring, willing to help another person, willing to take that next boundary for my family, and strive for success in what we have going on in our lives right now.
Okay. And he's kind of, I would say you're kind of, I don't want to say skinny.
I'm very skinny.
I'm
tall and skinny.
You heard it from him. He said that he is tall and skinny. How else would you describe yourself, or would you leave it at that?
Currently, I would say at a disability. You know, just having some back surgery on my lower back here about 6 months ago. Still trying to recover and deal with that, but overall, my mind is steady forward and continuing to better myself, my family, and strive for greatness.
Oh, man, I love that. Coach always striving for greatness. That means Coach is a winner. Now, Coach, to be where you are today and to be able to see things the way that you see things, is there something that you experienced as a child that may have shaped how you see things today?
Yeah, I grew up kind of without mom and dad, and when there was, it was kind of hands-on and very uncomfortable at times, but it was tough love, what we called it back then. You know, I'm 44 now. So I have a beautiful wife of, 26 years I just spent with her. This past Friday was our 26-year anniversary. I have 4 children, 25, 22, 19, and 16. So I have a beautiful grandson.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Would you say that you did things a little bit differently than the way your parents did things?
Yeah, I watched the benefits, the good things that they taught us growing up. There was always good things in a household. There's always negatives in some, but there's always positives that you can learn from and gain success from that. I truly believe now.
Now, with all the family success that you have, being a grandfather, and being able to enjoy that stage in life, what is something that you've maybe encountered as an adult that kind of shapes your perception of reality?
Just trial and error. We're all put on this earth for a reason. I think we've all made mistakes in some aspect, but eventually we grow up, we learn, and we adapt to, I think, what is brought upon us at the time. So it's just learning to adjust and wanting to be good at everything that you do, to show your family that as long as you try, you're going to be happy. Success comes with happiness.
And hard work, and patience.
Patience comes a long way.
Comes with time. And for those that don't know, if you haven't checked out our past seasons, we're adding a few new questions actually 2 new questions to the list, and this is actually one of them. And so, as your time growing from being a young person to an adult, as an American, have you ever faced homelessness?
Oh yeah, I made bad decisions as a young man. I put myself kind of in a predicament when maybe early 90s, you know, young and dumb, wanted to go out drinking Night Train wine and Mad Dog 2020. If anybody remembers that.
Oh man.
You know, I didn't have that structure, I guess, of a man to teach me right from wrong at the time. I had a very strong, dependent mother. She worked hard. She did everything she possibly could. She was tough though. She had to be, because I had a lot of siblings. We run around, and as time goes on, you know, things don't always go as planned, you know, in family sometimes. So.
Now, are there things that you see currently? Actually, let me rewind. There was another new question that we added. Just due to everything that happens over the course of life, did you ever feel like you had to wrestle with like mental health issues as well?
I actually still deal with that today in some aspect as a man. A lot of people look at men different. We're the backbone, we're the support, we're the man of the house. You know, we're to teach our children right from wrong, discipline. And I could honestly say I can probably shed tears maybe a few times in my life, and it was due to a loss of a family member.
Right.
Or making a life-altering decision of probably having my first child, you know, not
right.
knowing, you know, being incarcerated during that time. I got myself in some trouble, you know, and I learned from it real quick. You know, it's not always good to go out and do things you shouldn't be doing and hanging out with people you shouldn't be hanging out around with.
Yeah, you got that right. You got that right.
And
go ahead.
You learn from that, hopefully.
And that's part of what life is about. Now that we've kind of covered all of those bases, let's get to the heart of right now. When you look out in the world or in the community, what are the things that concern you?
Our youth.
How do you mean?
We used to be parents. We used to have parents around. Parents didn't want to be our friends. I can't be a friend to my child. I have to be a parent. You can have fun with your children, I think, but you can't be their friend. Dressing like you're 18 years old as a 40-year-old, 50-year-old woman, I don't think it's appropriate in some aspect. They want to be friends. You know, a lot of fathers want to go out here and act crazy and cheat. It's not worth it in the end.
Yeah.
You get a lot of family separation comes from that as well.
Yeah.
You know, there's no structure for the kids get lost. They run wild. That's their outing, I guess you would say. When I was growing up, we had a Boys and Girls Club. You know, in our area, we'd get out of school, go to the Boys and Girls Club, play some video games, some air hockey, go out there and throw the football around. And that's what I think our society's missing nowadays. We don't have as many mentors as we should. Okay. I think we should have more moms getting out there and teaching young ladies how to be young ladies. you know, teaching them how to be young adults. You know, I coached basketball, I coached football. I loved every moment of it because I got the opportunity to inspire young men, to give them something they didn't have. You know, I took a little rural team out of Virginia, and they were a recreational basketball team, and actually tried to put them out there to the national spotlight, and did AAU tours with them throughout all Virginia, and enjoyed it. You know, won championship games, a lot of tournaments, a lot of losses, you know, trial and error.
Right.
We didn't call them losses, we call them learning lessons.
Learning lessons.
You never lose in life unless you give up.
That's absolutely true. Now, as far as the youth is concerned, what do you feel about some of the things like the video game culture, or them wrestling with, when they're getting into these older teenage years, wrestling with drugs? What are your thoughts on some of the things that, you know, the youth are facing in these days and times?
People to talk to. I think their friends are their friends. They just, you know, you can have conversation with your friend, but we have a lot of mental health, and mental health has a lot to do with it. I think we need to put more into the school systems to help these young kids as they get older. You know, find something, find a sport, go to a trade school, go to the military. It's not probably the best thing you want to do, but you can learn structure, you can learn discipline, you can learn survival. Teamwork. And that's what it's about. You know, at the end of the day, the only one's gonna fail is you if you allow it. You could be told no a million times, but are you gonna give up from that, or do you continue to get where you're wanting to go in life?
That's true. That's true. Now, based upon some conversation that we had just kicking it, I get from you, and tell me if this is correct, or that you are like a law and order type of guy.
I am. I've broken the law. You know, I wasn't a good person at one time. So, learning from those experiences and growing up and understanding everything that we do could be taken from us really quick if you go out here and do something you're not supposed to be doing. We have laws in place for a reason. Do we agree with them all? No. I think that we could work on changing things to help community outreach, more involvement with our leaders in the community. If you want change, you have to speak, and you have to do it with your voice.
Right.
Don't go out here and get in people's faces, screaming, yelling. You're not getting nowhere.
Right.
You scream all day. You're not going to get nowhere. You can throw things. You're not going to get nowhere. You're going to get locked up. You're going to get yourself hurt. You're going to get somebody else hurt. It's a tough spot to be in nowadays with that, you know. So when you have to look at it from both sides. So you can't just watch this news network. You can't watch this news network. You just can't do it anymore. It doesn't get you anywhere. It's putting sides against each other.
So, would you say that you actually learned from your lessons and your run-ins with the authorities, and do you think it made you a better person?
Oh, 1,000%. I have much more respect for law enforcement when it comes to the law. I raised my children to work hard if you want something in life. Don't ask for it because it's not going to be given to you. If you go out here and put yourself in a position or put yourself around people that are going to put you in that position, you already know it's not the right decision. You know right from wrong. It's up to you as a young man or a young woman to, I would say, deter yourself from experiencing those, because there are people out here that have been there, done it, and we try to help young men and women, you know. That's why I got into coaching, because I was able to work with young men that didn't have a father, didn't have a mother. Some of them had grandmothers raising them. Some of them had an aunt. And I didn't ask those kids for money. I literally went out with those kids, did fundraisers with them, put them out into the community, that way people would see them, not me. It wasn't about me, it was about them, because I made my choices and I learned from them. So me giving back to the community was the best thing I could have done to teach those young men. I seen kids that couldn't even dribble a basketball and they would all get punished. You know, I didn't believe in that. I thought we teach as a team, we don't punish, we teach. So I went and talked with a head coach of a program one time, and said, I don't like the way this guy's doing it. My kid's out here and I don't agree with this. So he's like, you gonna coach? I said, I would. I kid you not, 4 days later, man, the guy called me up and said, you wanna coach? And I took the opportunity and I ran with it.
And that's how it comes. That's how it comes.
I taught those boys how to dribble a ball, shoot a ball, obstacles. You know, I got some young men that are very successful today.
Now, aside from the youth, is there anything else going on within the community or in the world that concerns you?
You know, there's a lot, honestly. The world has changed. Our parties have changed. You know, people, it's a hard question to really answer without being disrespectful to another person. That's not who I am.
Right.
Be who you want to be in life, right?
Right.
Don't disrespect me or put it in front of me because I don't want to be a part of it, right? So like the unisex bathrooms in schools, we'll go there, right? I don't agree that a man should be in a young lady's bathroom or a young boy. I don't agree with that. I don't think a young girl should be in a boy's bathroom. So, you know, it's not how we were taught.
No. And, you know, I agree with you, and I know there'll be some feedback for that, but this is why I agree with you.
And I have another answer to that as well with my answer. If I think that they're going to do that, I think they should have their own bathroom. I think it should be strictly a men's room, ladies' room, and a unisex if they want to do that. I think that would be correct on both sides. If that's how it should be, let's, okay, do that.
Like, so I'm going to give
you a choice at that moment, right?
Exactly. I'm going to give you a hypothetical situation. A gentleman and a lady go out.
Mm-hmm.
They go back to somebody's house. They have a few drinks.
Yes.
A drink or two. In theory, everybody should be able to go home and whatever. But depending upon the way that the moon is, depending upon the way that the cologne or the perfume is smelling, things can happen. And that's like the difference in between theory and practicality. in theory, people should be able to do certain things, maybe even share bathrooms, but in practicality, people would abuse that because people don't naturally like to follow rules.
Well, we do follow that in a home, right? Inside your home, you share a bathroom with your family.
Right.
That's okay. It's your home. In public, it's not okay.
No, it's not.
I don't agree with it. That's my belief. That's my opinion. An opinion's like an ass.
Everybody got one, and most of them, to everybody, stinks.
Yeah,
except
roses really don't smell like doo-doo.
You know, well, hold on. I got to shout out to my homeboy who likes those groceries. You know who you are at the donation plate. That dude, never mind. So
no, and I just, I believe that, I think some things should be left alone in schools. I think children should be taught history, true history. What we were taught in school, not what I don't agree with sex books with children in elementary schools. I don't agree with that. I don't think there should be political talk in school during certain hours, right? So you have debate. You're allowed to have government in school. Talk about it. You can have those debates. That's what we had that class for. You could get up on the class, on stage, and you could debate with one another. And you come to a conclusion. You don't agree, that's okay. You don't have to hate them for it. I have friends that are Democrats. I have friends that are Republicans. I have friends that are conservative. I have black conservative friends. I have white conservative friends. So at the end of the day, be who you want to be. It is your belief. It's okay. Don't force your beliefs upon somebody else. If it shouldn't happen. Respect another person's area.
I'm gonna just play devil's advocate. I'm gonna see how this comes out, see how this sounds. But when my kids were young, we homeschooled our kids, right?
Yep.
And they said, well, one of the things that people were against homeschooling was that your kids don't properly learn how to socialize. They don't learn other things, other families, other stuff.
I can agree with that.
Now imagine a child comes from a same-sex family, right? Young child, they're in elementary school. Now all they see at home is this. But now they're at school and everybody else has different things. Do you think that it falls upon the school to just give a level of basic understanding of family dynamic? Instead of sex.
I don't think you should be judged on sex, race, religion, or any of that. I don't, you cut a black man, right? You cut me. We're both going to bleed the same color. You cut a yellow man, we're going to bleed the same color.
Yeah, we can say all of that, but in America, the ambulance go get to your blood quicker than mine.
Honestly, I've never witnessed that to an extent, so I can't say yes or no. I see what I see on TV, but have I witnessed it? No. And I've been around the coast a lot. I've seen them help homeless. I've seen white people get arrested, black people, Asian. I've seen them all get arrested. If you're acting crazy, you're gonna get harassed. You're gonna get manhandled. You just listen. Put your hands up, show them your ID, whatever you gotta do, go on about your business. If you're speeding, you're speeding. Take your ticket and move on. Don't put yourself in a spot or make that officer think something crazy. And yes, we do that. As people, we have a tendency to act crazy sometimes, even though we know we were in the wrong. We act a little rational. You know, I've been there. Like, just over a little simple argument, you get heated real quick, right? You go from 0 to 100, a trigger switch. We gotta learn how to control that.
Yep.
Don't let the simple things control us. We have to learn to adapt to what it is. Like, if it ain't got nothing to do with you, stay out of it, right?
Correct.
If you and I are walking down the road and we see a cop out here messing with this dude, are we gonna walk over there and talk to that cop and figure out what he's doing to that guy? No, not really. Probably not. Now, if I see that guy's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and I see that cop acting a fool, I'm going over there. I'm gonna say something 100%.
Now,
hold them accountable, right?
Exactly, because that's what we're supposed to do. That's part of our duty as a citizen.
Be accountable for your actions and what you do.
And hold those that,
And hold those that go out here and break the law, hold them accountable. It doesn't matter if you're poor, if you're rich, it shouldn't matter. You broke the law. If you break the law, you break the law. There's consequences. There's actions to your consequences.
Okay, hey, I'm not afraid to let the world know that I've been to the penitentiary, so I understand that there's consequences to actions.
I spent a year in a county jail.
So, now, with that being said, outside of your family, what would you fight and die for?
My country.
That's an awesome answer.
Why? Because I'm from here. It's what I was taught. It doesn't matter any other reason. This is our country. We fight for our country.
I love that.
If you see somebody out here acting crazy, hey, you can help out, right? You see a homeless person, you can go out here and give them $1. Now, is that person using it for dope? We don't know. Is it our business? No, it's not.
We're just there to do the Lord's work.
I think it's up to our states. I think it's up to our, I would say, government to step it up. Get out here and do more for our veterans, do more for our communities. We have so many communities that are just going to hell because we're more worried about foreign wars and everything else that we shouldn't even be part of.
I agree.
I think we need to worry about right here. I don't think we need to worry about what everybody else is doing. Yeah, we get our foods, our certain things, deal with that. For somebody in place, deal with that, go on. Let's get back to business. Let's better each other's communities, right?
I love that. That's what I love to
Let's
hear.
get back here to cleaning our streets back up. Like, you gotta think back in the 90s, right? We had rough times.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of great things going.
Now, I'm going to make the assumption that you have connections to the streets, or you understand some things that's going on. Wouldn't you say that, like, the battle that people are dealing with fentanyl and meth is something that's different than in the past?
I think that has a lot to do with community. We allow it in our communities. You go downtown Denver, they have needle exchange, right? So they're supplying people that have addictions. They, instead of putting it on the street, they can go in there and exchange their needle and get a fresh needle, so they're not getting hepatitis or AIDS or whatever, right?
Right.
Why are we giving it to them? We're enabling them, right? We need to make it to where they can't get them help. You know, figure out what's wrong, right? You have somebody that has mental health. If that person's been in the military, more than likely there's some type of PTSD or some sort, right? There's something somewhere, something caused, there was a trigger. Might have been from a youth, might have been from, you know, we've had ex-gangbangers get out of the streets and do right with our communities. We've had different outreach. We have pastors that go out. We don't open the churches no more. You know, we open our churches now more for cold weather than we do for a homeless, right?
Right.
And it's true, unfortunately. We used to help out the homeless. We would go give them blankets for shelter if they needed it. We would make sure that they have food. We would do things. We would advance so far into 2026. Nobody should be homeless.
They really shouldn't. I always drive by that big building on Academy like, man, how is it that they have this big building right here and all of these homeless people and they could just be living in this building?
So it's a coalition, more than likely. You know, so what those are is they're government funded, I guess, if I'm not mistaken. They're coalition for the homeless. What they do is it's a low income. Some of them have mental health, some of them have drug addiction. They try to help them, right? So that's what they say. But you go to those communities and a lot of those residents are high. They're not healthy. They're dirty. If you're living in a community where you have assistance, why are you living in a dirty area? You should have a clean area, correct? If you're paying bills, you have a caretaker or somebody that watches over you. That's their job. You go to a CNA, right? CNA takes care of a patient. They have the home health care, right? So if that nurse or whomever is in charge of that patient messes around, is not taking care of them, what happens? They lose their job, right?
Right.
The state steps in. Typically, they lose their license, they get fined. We don't do that no more. I think there needs to be more accountability, more, where's our money going? You know, why are our streets the way that they are? Why are our buildings, only certain buildings clean? And it's the property managements that are keeping up those buildings. You know, they're trying their best to keep the homeless away. They're doing the best. It's not the cities, it's not the states. It's the communities trying their best. And it gets overwhelming. And it's scary. And because any one of us could be in that position at any time.
And actually that's
all one paycheck away from being homeless.
And that's what I'm actually wondering about is when will the administration aggressively attack the homeless situation? I mean, and that's just another
Where do you
story.
start with it though?
And there's a lot of questions there. We had a guest on here. Make sure if y'all haven't seen it, y'all check out the Psycho interview. But Psycho came on here, and as a concerned citizen, he offered this situation. He said, you should get some of your brightest doctors and psychologists and your religious folk and get them together, and then you line up all the homeless people, and you figure out which ones can be saved and which can't be saved. The ones that can be saved, you ask them, do you want to be saved? If they say no, then you just feed them all poison. That's what he said. He said, because at the end of the day, you can't continue to take care of people that don't see any hope within their own lives. And that
you gotta help the baby because the baby can't help himself.
Exactly. And I said that a bunch of times. How long can you give money to adults who make bad decisions when you got babies? That's
exactly what it is.
That need to make good decisions.
That's what it is. Like, so if you look at our, what do you call food stamps, right? SNAP, whatever that is now. There's so many people on it. It was there originally to help certain families, right? Didn't matter a color. I've been on it. I remember standing in a line as a young man, and I got a block of cheese. You know what I'm saying? Some powder and made some milk. So I've been there, and I've also made 6 figures in a year. You know what I mean? Legally, without out here trying to hustle or pawn or sell or get over on somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Been there, done that. Wore that jumpsuit many years ago, and I like back to what we were saying at the very beginning. Life's trial and error, right?
Right.
So what we need to do with I think to some aspect Psycho was right, but you can't round him up and poison him. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it. There's something. Maybe a different type of housing, not cages or not jail. Jail's bullcrap. Rehabilitation, they need to throw that away. That's just for people trying to get rich. That's building communities out of blocks.
But then you gotta feed
There's no
them.
Rehabilitation whatsoever. And then you get out, you get a big fine.
You gotta feed them.
You got bills as soon as you come out of jail, and you haven't done nothing.
Remember you said you gotta make sure that places that people live are clean.
They gotta be clean.
So then people got to clean up after them.
Nah,
so
we have to teach them. Okay, so if you have a mental disability, right? Say you have brain trauma, right? You have some type of actual brain trauma. Physical and mental are 2 different things. So a physical disability, so like right now, I have a physical disability. I cannot bend over, right? I cannot squat. I have pinched nerves, whatever, so be it. But, and that's how you notice I haven't sat still, you know, so, but at the end of the day, you have to find something to overcome that, right? That's a disability that, we all have a disability in some aspect. How do you overcome it? How do you achieve what you want by having that? A lot of people give up too soon.
okay, I mean,
Too many people give up. I've had 5 lung surgeries.
but
My right lung collapsed 5 times.
I'm just saying, man. When you see some of these people that are out here off this meth and off this fentanyl, here is the thing that I know.
I have some siblings, right? And I'm not a big person to put my business out there, but just so people understand, I'm not trying to knock somebody. I actually have a brother and a sister. Both of them have an addiction. One of them has several kids. Well, both of them have multiple kids. They're great people. Amazing people. Like, if you could get them away from the drugs and the people that they're around, they would never have that issue. But everywhere you go, literally every city, every county, it does not matter where you go, there's dope.
Man, that was a bar.
Every single place you go, there's dope. It does not matter. You got pills. The pharmacies used to feed those down our throats. I had 5 lung surgeries. I was taking Xanax bars. I was taking morphine. I was taking Loratab. I was taking, gabapentin, all at the same time. Like I was a zombie, trying to get better. How am I supposed to get better if I can't get up and walk? If I can't get up and move, how am I supposed to? It's the pharmaceuticals. Every single one of them pharmaceutical companies own part of a hospital or part of an insurance company. They need to get away from all that. If you own a pharmaceutical company, you should not own any type of stock here. You shouldn't be allowed to be involved in any of that other than to do your job. You have a job to do. Do your job.
See, and that's where the medical game has gotten messed up, man. If people were to read The Republic by Plato, this interview would make a lot of sense. Now, I'm gonna ask you, a final question. If there was a message that you could leave with the world, what would it be?
Never look down upon somebody unless you're helping them up. Because you don't know what that person's going through. You don't know.
No.
Pick up your phone, call your family, say hi. Go out here, spend hours with your family. You can't take that time back. A lot of people like to go to work. We think money is success, right? It's always not. I think family is the most important thing. It doesn't have to be your children. You can have a mom, a dad, a grandma, an aunt, an uncle. Reach out to them, check on them. Just make sure that they're okay. At the end of the day, go check on your neighbor. You okay? Offer a hand. Don't be afraid. Stop the hate. It's not worth it. Stop fighting. It's not worth it. It's not going to get us nowhere. It's not going to get us where we want to be. If we want a true change in our country, in our societies, in our neighborhoods, step up as parents, step up as leaders, teachers, government. Everybody has a job to do. Do it. Let the haters hate. Let them do their thing. Because at the end of the day, they're going to do it. Everybody needs a job, right? So everybody needs a job to do. So you keep your head on straight. Don't look back. Don't worry about everybody else's problems. Worry about yours. Stay in contact with your family.
That's the most important.
Make sure you spend that quality time, because it could end very quick. It can be taken from you very quick nowadays.
Man, Coach, man, it's been an honor to have you here, man. I hope you had a good time, man.
Yeah, this was new for me. This is the first time ever doing this, so.
Oh man, I think that you did a great job. Please make sure to like and follow us here on the Concerned Citizen. Again, it was great to have you here, Coach. Follow us, like, share. Shout out to Zach, who's in the back doing this thing. Pause on that. Make sure you check us out next episode. We got some politicians coming through. Again, we're switching the game up here on the Concerned Citizen. You heard us show the progressive movement in a lot of different ways and in a lot of different lights and all the things that they're going through. And now here in season 3, we're going to be showing you some other perspectives and really getting into the concern of some good, what I like to say, some good old-fashioned Americans. With that being said, let's go. Hey, make sure you remember to follow us on the Concerned Citizen, like the page, follow us on YouTube, and make sure you go to the website, theconcernedcitizenpodcast.com, and drop an email if you want to get on the show. We would like to hear your concerns, like to hear what you're thinking about. Let's go.